Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we will approach a different genre. I will show you how I produced an Afrobeat instrumental. Also, make sure that you're gonna stick until the end because I have a huge surprise for you. No further talk, let's go. Let me quickly show you the final result and then we're gonna dive into each individual track. Yeah, so that's it. The whole idea of this production is not to create a mess, not to overproduce it. It might sound a bit, empty, to put it this way, but it's very mandatory to leave enough room for the vocals, because in Afrobeat it's about how rhythmic the voice is and how rhythmic the melody is. So yeah, I mean, there's no need to add stuff just for the sake of adding. So that's why I kind of kept it in the first part more empty, just to have the main Afrobeat kind of groove and vibe, to have some nice scores that can inspire any Afrobeat artist. And on the chorus, yeah, like other elements come in and it makes it sound like really rich. So it all starts with the perk loop. I have it here. It's actually from Splice. It's the AB Cap Fantastic perk loop. It's from a pack called Chill Afrobeats. I liked it the way it was. I just added in. I felt like it kind of gave me that groove that I was searching for. So I kind of went for it. I quickly processed it, with the EQ. I cut the low information. Then I added a smack attack, just to kind of cut the release, to make the perk more punchy, not to have it too loose. So yeah, more or less that's it. And it just worked. Then I added a rim just to make this Afrobeat groove a bit more obvious. I added all kind of like transitions, some small accents to make the beginning of the beat interesting, but not to kind of overproduce it. Same thing here, just an EQ to cut the low frequencies, and then I add the reverb right on the insert with a mix of like minus 8.9 dB. As I mentioned in previous videos as well, I'm using the Seventh Heaven all the time. It's a go-to plugin for me. It doesn't make sense if I like this plugin, I like the way the reverb sounds. It doesn't make sense for me to change it. It's easy to load it up. Straight away I get what I need, and that's it. It doesn't make sense to start like experimenting now with all sorts of reverbs. Sometimes it's just good to work with the plugins that you really know, and then this way you can quickly achieve the result that you want. Then another percussive element comes in, more or less in the pre-chorus part, just to kind of lift up the energy a bit more, and just to kind of, make things even more groovy, and to prepare you for the chorus part. more or less this is the groove that comes in on the chorus. So I have a kick, it's a 4 on the floor beat, nothing too special, something that just keeps the groove going. Then where I kind of started to go a bit crazy was with the rims. I quickly just show you because I had to layer kind of few of them just to kind of obtain the sound that I was aiming for. This one is a very woody one. This is a bit more stereo, more upfront, not that woody, but still kind of it has that rim vibe. I have the rim 5 and the 6 panned left and right, just to kind of have that very stereo rim. I really wanted the rim to sound big, to be honest, because I feel like it's the core of Afrobeat in general, just to kind of have that pam, 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 that kind of groove, So it was mandatory for me to kind of give a lot of attention to the rim. So altogether, it sounds like this. I feel like it's organic. I feel like it's wide enough. It also has presence, but it also has kind of a depth. I didn't feel the need to add like any reverb or stuff, because I really want the rim to be upfront and kind of not create a mess in the chorus part, because there are like other elements, and you will see that even the synths, and the blocks are quite stacked. So yeah, I wanted to leave enough room for every element to kind of shine. Just a perk FX that I added. Dry, it sounded like this. It's more or less made out of a rim. I cut it, I chopped it, and I just created this kind of stutter effect manually. What I like about Pro Tools is the fact that you can really, really see the waveform. So yeah. And also another thing that I forgot to mention, as you can see here, the rims are a bit delayed. So yeah, for instance, in the case of the rim number 6 and number 5, not to have like phasing issues, I decided to delay them a bit. So yeah, you will see that they're a bit delayed, but again, just kind of get rid of the phasing issues, but at the same time to have the rim not that focused, maybe not that pointy, to have it a bit more wide and kind of give that more natural feeling and more organic feeling. Most of the times, for instance, I would choose to have everything like literally on the bar, but in this case I like the way the rim sounded, so I kept it like this. And I have the hats. Same thing, I added the smack attack, just to make it a bit more punchy and to cut the release. I went in quite heavy on it. The auto pan that I'm always using, just to kind of create some movement, some stereo, movement, and then a dog to kind of create a more groovy hi-hat loop. Even though the sound is a bit, more trappy, that's why I kind of added those elements like the dock and the auto pan, just to kind of get it a bit away from that part, because otherwise it was not matching and it was like fighting with the groove and it was not groovy enough. So I kind of wanted, again, that groove that was matching the Afrobeat vibe. As you can see, I have a clock sounding percussion. Same thing, just to make the things more interesting. And as you can see on the chorus again, I have that main loop that goes all the way throughout the song. I mean, it doesn't stop only on some kind of pre-chorus part, but otherwise, the loop is kind of, the core. All kind of, accents and elements, transitions. An auto pan again, a smack attack again, just to kind of make it more on point, and the reverb again. Then I have a small transition percussive element here as well. Here I have another percussion, is just, a small accent again to make things more interesting and to spice things up. These kind of small details make the difference. Nothing too complicated, nothing too obvious, nothing to stand out. These subtle things, all together kind of create a nice vibe, and also at the same time, the most important thing, to leave enough room for the vocals. Because if you like overproduce and overdo stuff, there's not going to be enough room for the vocalist to do anything, or for the songwriter to actually write on it, because it's going to feel like too crowded. That's why actually most of the songwriters prefer to write songs kind of on a piano or on a guitar, just to have that raw vibe without having other distractions. All these things, in the writing process can act like a distraction. So it's better, just have like subtle elements, so it leaves enough room for the vocalist to do his job. And yeah, I mean, after you kind of have a vocal, you can feel free to add stuff if it makes sense, or stuff to kind of, um, uh, add a plus to the overall song without fighting with the vocal. But here in this stage, when we're talking only about the beat, it's yeah, it's just subtle elements, to be honest. I have all these FX elements with razors, crashes, even though they are mostly used on EDM stuff. In this particular case, I think it worked, just kind of created some movement there, and added, those kind of energy moments that the song needed, those explosive moments. As you can see, they are quite organic. So I didn't get too much into EDM, but just some small accents that that lift up the energy as well. For the chorus especially, you have that kind of explosion on the first bar.